Hello, my name is Andrew Pang. Welcome to another edition of CMS Forex News. Today's Thursday, August 28, 2008. In Australia, the Conference Board Leading Index declined again in June, posting a 0.5% decrease. That reinforces the impression that the Australian economy is going through a slowdown and that the central bank is ready to act on rates. On a brighter note, capital expenditure rose 5.7% in the June quarter, beating forecasts, and the first quarter's figure was revised up into the positive as well. The data should be a welcome sign for the central bank as businesses increase spending. The ill effects of the credit crunch seem to have been contained to the first quarter. Following the Australia report on capital spending, the Aussie-US dollar pair rallied about 100 pips to trade near 0.8690. This was about 170 pips higher than the 8-month low set on Tuesday. However, the Aussie gave up a good portion of its overnight gains in New York trading. Housing prices in the UK took another tumble in August, dropping 1.9% on the month, according to Nationwide. On the year, prices declines are now in double figures at negative 10.5%. A survey of the UK retail sector showed a net 46% of respondents saying sales were lower in the first half of August compared to a year ago. 38% of them believe that retail businesses will be worse off over the next 3 months, which has dampened investment spending. The pound continues to suffer against the dollar. Though its two releases didn't move the pair much during overnight trading, the pound hit a fresh 2-year low around noon New York time. The dollar got a strong boost from its GDP data, and the pair continues to be falling in a downward channel. After several releases showering doom and gloom on the German economy, today's unemployment figures had to boost spirits in the ECB. It showed unemployment fell by 40,000 in August, 4 times the consensus forecast. The unemployment rate, which lags the jobs report by 1 month, slid to 7.6% for July. That's the lowest in 16 years. The Bloomberg Eurozone Retail PMI showed a 3rd consecutive month of contraction in sales. While the PMI rose to a 3-month high at 47.7, it remains below the critical 50 boom-bust mark. In the U.S. this week, initial jobless claims dipped by 10,000 to 425,000, which is lower than the pace seen recently. The 4-week moving average fell to 440,000. Those Americans continuing to claim benefits hit 3.42 million, the highest that figure has been since November of 2003. The U.S. economy turned out to be stronger in the second quarter than expected. In the second release, growth was revised to show an annualized 3.3% rate compared to the 1.9% originally reported. In the first quarter, GDP stood at 0.9%. There were upward revisions to production of durable goods, exports, and consumer spending. Company profits increased 1% in the quarter after seeing a steep decline in the first quarter. The euro-dollar had been gaining overnight, but ran up against resistance near 1.48. The pair formed a double top at the start of the New York session, and with the better-than-expected U.S. release, fell to an intraday low near 1.4670. In Canada, the current account widened to 6.8 billion Canadian dollars as higher prices for the country's commodities helped boost exports. The number was less than expected, and the first quarter's figure was revised lower. The U.S. dollar jumped about 80 pips against the Canadian dollar in the aftermath of the two countries' morning releases. The pair has found some strong support near 1.0430 and is now testing the upper part of this week's sideways range near 1.0520. With the end of the month coming up, Japan posts a slew of data tonight. These releases include CPI, household spending, unemployment rate, retail sales, industrial production, and housing starts. Also tonight, Australia releases a report on credit to the private sector, and the UK releases its consumer confidence. Overnight, the Eurozone releases data on consumer prices and unemployment. It will also post its end-of-the-month indicators on economic sentiment and business climate. Tomorrow, Canada reviews its monthly GDP growth and producer prices. The U.S. finishes the week off with data on personal income and spending for August, along with the Chicago PMI and the UMich Consumer Confidence Index. And that wraps it up for the day in Forex News. Join us again tomorrow right here at cmsfx.com.